Well, good morning and welcome to day one of CISO Forum Canada 2021. As the chair mentioned in the opening comments, it's the third iteration of this conference, and I'm truly fascinated by the journey that we've gone on. And to be here for the third iteration of this conference in this hybrid environment is truly a testament to the success that this conference has seen over a period of time. My name is Ali Hirji, and many of you may know me as the lead for both AI and cybersecurity at Durham College. And in today's session, I'm going to be diving deep into the impacts of quantum in the world of ransomware and cybersecurity in general. You know, often when I was in high school, I remember being told that physics, computers, are the operating systems of the universe. And if you really want to see what's changing in this operating system, a peek into quantum is probably a good starting point for you. Canada, I'm going to take a flight, I believe, to the United States. Joseph, it's a little too early to be that dark behind you, but Joseph, pleasure to welcome you to CISO Forum Canada 2021, my first exchange with you. Very excited. Can you tell our audience a little bit about what you do and why is this topic of interest to you?
Sure, thank you. I'm Joseph Steinberg, and I actually am in the New York area, although this is obviously a virtual background if it is dark at 10 a.m. Although it is the beginning of the early dark season here. I've been in the cybersecurity space for about 25 years. I've been in product companies and service companies. Today, I split my time between advising companies and serving as an expert witness and doing lots of writing on the field. I wrote a column for years for Forbes about cybersecurity, later for Inc. Today, it's an independent column with several million reads a month, covering emerging risks. So I like to talk about things that people should be thinking about that we're not necessarily thinking about yet, but by the time most people think about them, they're already problems. As Andrew alluded to, these things can be very big issues because when it comes to cybersecurity, by the time you see the tsunami, it's usually too late to react without damage. So I'm very excited about quantum computing and talking about it today because this is something that is not just on the horizon, it's already starting to happen. And it's the impact of quantum computing on cybersecurity is almost like the change from a typewriter to a computer. It's going to have a dramatic impact. And it's also 100% guaranteed to happen. If the world continues the way it happens, there's no possibility these risks won't occur, and they're going to happen soon. So I'm very excited about the conversation, as you can probably hear from my voice.
Absolutely. You know, I really like the concept of forewarned is forearmed, and you've been helping organizations plan for tomorrow's threats today. And I think that's the gist of this conversation as well. So Joseph, always a pleasure. I'm looking forward to hosting my first session with you. I want to go to Joseph and then Tyson. You saved the very best for the last. This has to work somewhere, but Tyson, I have two questions actually that have come for you. So stay tuned with bated breath. Joseph, I want to come to you first. And I want to get your perspective on, you know, Andrew spoke a lot about email and focused a lot on email as a site from where you can begin to discuss quantum-related encryption and quantum-based attacks. Can you shed some perspective on why is email seen as a very interesting starting point when talking about quantum-driven attacks? Joseph?
Well, first of all, I think email is a good starting point when you talk about most attacks, because that's one of the primary ways that humans communicate, and humans are almost always the Achilles heel of the information security process. So you're going to see that in general. But when it comes to quantum, look, I'm a blunt New Yorker. I'm going to say it as it is. Every document that you're having emailed to you today, every single email that's coming to you today, if it's not encrypted in a way that will survive, quantum-based cryptographic, attacks, cryptanalysis, etc., it means that at some point in the future, and as Andrew said, it may not be that far in the future, these things will be readable to anybody who's captured the data, whether it's encrypted or not. And so if there's highly sensitive information being transmitted by email that's going to be sensitive in 2, 3, or 5 years, and you're not protecting it against, future attacks that are not that far in the future, you just have to assume if that message is captured, which everything sent by email could be captured because it's going over insecure networks like, and going SMTP, etc., it's going to be readable by somebody.
Yep.
So, just keep that in mind. This is not a theoretical problem. The same goes with digital signatures. If you've got documents stored that you're going to need to, assert in a lawsuit in 7 years, and they've been stored with digital signatures that are going to be able to be undermined by quantum systems, or maybe underminable by quantum systems in less than that time. You may have issues asserting them if you don't convert those over beforehand. Think about all your backups. It's not a tsunami where it's coming in and there's a blue sky and the siren goes off and it's just you on the beach. You've got hundreds of homes and office buildings, and you may not even know where all of them are. And that tsunami's coming. Where are all your backups? Are they encrypted? And if the encryption is old encryption, or encryption that's not going to be, considered secure in 3 or 4, 5 years, what happens with those backups? Are you just going to leave them that way in some vault and hope that nobody ever accesses them and, decrypts them? Or are you going to convert those over beforehand? So, this isn't a matter of, okay, that tsunami alarm has gone off. It's time to act because I got to get out of here. It's, if I don't get my act together, I'm going to have so much to do when that tsunami comes in, that it's not just me that's going to be in danger. It's all the stuff I've already built that's going to be in danger. And, anything you're sending now, is going to be decryptable in the future, unless you act now. So, this isn't a theoretical risk, and it's not a risk that you need to address because of future problems. It's protecting the stuff of today. And email is a great example of this, because email is transported over insecure networks that are, and even when you're encrypting it, that encryption is no good. If it's captured, somebody can decrypt it in a few years. So these are things to think about. These are real problems about the sensitivity of data that you're creating today. So, while you ask about email, it's email and everything else.
Absolutely.
It's a big problem.
No, thank you for giving us the New Yorker perspective. And I really like that differentiation that you made between theory and practice. I always say this in my classes, that there's the difference between theory and practice is that in theory, there is no difference. This is the reality. This is what's happening. And some very concrete examples that you brought, just from starting with email, as a very good baseline from which to understand how quantum encryption and quantum computing attacks can actually have devastating effects. So Joseph, as always, thank you for keeping it straight and keeping it to the point. I appreciate that.